Welcome into Steelers Latest, your daily spot for all news and information related to your Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm your host, Cole Denis, and please like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content to stay up to date with everything Steelers. But let's get rolling as the Steelers have pulled the trigger on signing Asante Samuel Jr. News was released yesterday afternoon. Asante Samuel, I think, will be contributing to the defense relatively soon. He has a lot of history starting games in the NFL, started 50 games in his 4 years with the Chargers. Now, in his first 3 seasons with the Chargers, he was able to rack up 2 interceptions a season, having between 11 to 13 pass defenses in those first 3 years. Also, in the fourth year, though, he definitely helped with injuries, couldn't stay on the field much, only played in 4 games last season. And his tackle high is 63, so he gets it done in both aspects of the game right there. He can in the amplitude one last two, which is always good to see. And as I've been saying, say Samuel Jr. There's a lot of untapped potential with him. I think there's a lot of athleticism he brings to the table. It's just really harnessing that athleticism and hammering down the fundamentals so he can achieve his ceiling potential wise in this league. Hopefully, Mike Tomlin and the Steelers defense can pull that out of him. He won't be asked to do much here early in his time with us because he has to learn the system, of course. But dealing with injuries with Slay. We have James Pierre in now. You never know if any more injuries are going to rack up. Ramsey dropped back to free safety now. It's always nice just having depth in the secondary because that is a position group where more the merrier. It really comes down to that because injuries kind of can stack up there, and it's really key to a defense in this new passing league, in the recent passing league the NFL has become to have a solid secondary. And I think Samuel can develop a little bit more. He's still very young in his career, still has a lot of room to run, and I think he can do it in Pittsburgh. Let's talk about some of these injuries, though, as the Steelers have some positive news this week about 5 players who have missed time. Cole Holcomb, who has missed the past 2 games with illness, he's been limited at practice this week, so it's nice having him back on the field now. Patrick Queen and Peyton Wilson have done a great job just holding it down on the defense all season long. So Holcomb really not going to be too much a factor for this team. It's always nice having substitutes. We've seen Roberts out there recently, so Holcomb, be prepared to see him back on the field here soon. Also, Jabril Peppers, he's missed the last 2 games with quadricep injury. He too is going to be limited at practice this week, so hopefully he'll be able to get back on the field soon. Darius Slay is in concussion protocol right now after Sunday's game against the Chargers. Still looking to determine anything on him as the week goes on. I'll update you if anything changes there. As it's Samala, he's expected to be a participant in practice this week again. So that's very good to hear. We've been missing him up front. I think he really showed in this past week against the Chargers just because it felt like we were dominated up front against Khalil Mack and the Chargers defensive line. Scotty Miller, he's also missed a few games with a broken finger. He's finally been cleared to practice. So, a lot of good news on the injury front. We're getting healthier, of course. No major name has really suffered any critical injuries besides Deshaun Elliott on free safety. So, he continues to be out for the long term, it seems like. But it is nice hearing some of our role players will be coming back here soon and a critical piece in Samoa up front. Let's move on though to Aaron Rodgers as Mike Tomlin has come to the defense of Aaron Rodgers this week as the critics have been out all week long so far. It's only been 2, 3 days now since a terrible performance against the Chargers. But Tomlin has came out to defend our veteran quarterback. He isn't ready to give up on Rodgers. He doesn't have any real concerns with the play from Sunday night's game. He did also say he's not chalking it up as an off night, but there are no long-term concerns with the phone. It is great to hear that our coach still believes in the quarterback. Now, it is easy to hop on these bandwagons with veteran quarterbacks when they have one bad game because you're used to it. You're used to seeing older players really fall off the map faster and quarterback. It feels like the Twins hit harder than anywhere else on the field. But Rodgers entering last week's game with third and passing touchdowns. He's having as good of a 40-plus-year-old quarterback season that anyone has ever had, besides maybe Tom Brady. I'm going to take a quote from Aaron Rodgers he used in Green Bay. I love this one. RELAX. Let's all relax here because Rodgers clearly shown throughout the year that we should give him more leeway than just one awful performance. Yes, it was a career worst performance, maybe, but there is a lot of good signs in other games that you can point to. And it's nice we have the Bengals coming up here this upcoming week because it is a revenge game. This is a game Rodgers. It's a chance to rewrite the narrative that's been cast upon him in this week because of the Chargers game. And if we don't pull off this win and Rodgers still looks terrible, we have real time to be concerned because Joe Burrow is now ruled out. They have ruled him out. He is not going to play against the Steelers. Great. He returned to practice Monday, but he's not playing against us Sunday. Fantastic news as Steelers fans. But we're dealing with the other Joe. Joe Flacco, someone who loves consistently beating us year to year. Last year with the Colts, this year already got us once with the Bengals. Can't let it happen again. We need a great game from Aaron Rodgers. We need our defensive front and secondary to please get some pressure on Joe and please guard the slant against Jamar Chase. We saw it all game 3 weeks ago. It was horrible, or 4 weeks ago. Terrible. We've lost 3 out of the last 4. We're letting the Ravens get back into this division. The Bengals have lost all but one game out of their last 7 games since Joe Burrow has gone down with injury, and that's against us. We can't let it happen again on Sunday because then all the doubts will creep in media-wise, team-wise, staff-wise, fan-wise. Everyone's going to be down in this team if continues this week against the Bengals. But that's been it from Steelers' latest. I've been your host, Cole Denis, and I will see you